Welcome to Jump Shots from the Goal Line. We're your hosts, Jonathan Dugan, John Henningsen, Benny Diamond Hands Crownover. And if you notice anything about the show that's a little bit different today, we stand with Deion Sanders. All right. We do not for 1 second appreciate the Norvell family coming at Deion's mother like that. She's a fine mother. So fine that she joins The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, in the locker room to defend her honor, because we don't stand for that crap, especially on this show, right, Henny?
Yeah, we stand with Deion. I mean, look, we've been on the train. What are you guys not getting? We've been like full go on this thing. I've always been in. What's not to love about it? 3-0. I think we're undefeated.
Yeah, Buff Nation, let's go, because I think that's what they say, right? Let's go. Ben, what are your thoughts, dude? I know you stand with Deion hardcore after last week, right? You definitely don't hate him.
You guys are trolls more than anything, and I enjoy that. This is, you guys are like planning this probably for like 6 days. You're like, dude, this could be great. We're gonna mess with Ben so much. I have a sneaky suspicion that every coach or every team is going to disrespect the Buffaloes somehow. It's awesome. Like, storming the field against Nebraska, storming the field against Colorado State as a 24.5-point favorite that you had to take to double overtime to beat. He's awesome, man. I'll tell you what, like Deion he gets me going. Like, he makes me want to cut off 2 of my toes in solidarity. Yeah. And I hate you guys for trolling me so much on this. This is bullshit, but whatever. It works.
Well, I don't know if you noticed, bro. I cut 2 sleeves off today in solidarity as well. So we're just going full Deion, bro. And first of all, they may have been 24-point favorites, but you know what? Most teams don't disrespect other teams' mamas. So rush the field if you like, in his honor, all right? And in Travis Hunter's honor, okay? That was a hard-fought game by the Buffaloes. Let's go.
That game was really intense, by the way.
Probably the best college football game in a while.
Yeah, one thing Deion is legit doing is creating an environment where both of those teams wanted to kill each other.
Yeah.
And
that was kind of wild.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah. Let me tell you, I have not watched a Colorado State game where I just wanted them to just get pummeled. All right. And usually I'm just like, hey, maybe if I have money on this game, I care about them. That game, there's a lot on the line. Whole family lineage.
I was rooting for both teams. I was like, this game's just awesome. I was legitimately like,
let's keep it going.
This is just fun. This is great.
Thank God they did keep it going, because I needed overtime for the over to cash. But
I know, so America's sweating that one together.
That is not good. I technically was rooting for both teams to just keep scoring points. So
what you're trying to tell me, Ben, was that you were also in the foxhole of Deion a little bit.
I mean, technically, I would have been fine if Colorado State dropped all 58.5 points on their own, but it's way easier if his team isn't complete trash for that to happen.
Yeah. If they could cover a tight end.
There's a bunch of stuff going around on I must just have like negative Twitter feed like set up.
It's like the only setting there is.
Yeah, well, I know, but
that's just Twitter. Yeah,
mine's pretty bad in general, and I think I saw somebody being like making fun of the fact they're like, "Oh, NFL scouts got to be loving that catch from like the Colorado State tight end," and somebody was like, "Dude, no, that's like the most exciting thing that insurance salesman is ever going to do in his life," and it's like, I don't know, wow. It's funny.
Yeah, it's a pretty good shot. Yeah. I want to double down, by the way, on. I mean, not that like it was a big deal, but. Dude, rushing the field last week was ridiculous. But as you mentioned, like, I know you just said it, but as 24.5 point favorites, and if you're really, if Nebraska, if I'm supposed to believe your real rival is Nebraska, then Colorado State certainly shouldn't meet anything. That's not a rivalry game. And there's no reason you should be out there, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, I'm not like, I really don't care. You can storm the field every week if you want. It's just not, you're just making it less special. I'm just telling you, you're going to regret it.
They brought the mamas into it, bro. Like, come on.
Yeah, and I'm sure I can't wait for the disrespect they have this week. It's going to be something outlandish. Like
It already
this
kind of started.
last time has it seriously?
Yeah, Dan Lanning went up there before even he played this week and was just like, when was the last time Colorado did anything for this conference? Do you think I care that they're going to the Big 12? Dude, just keep the hype train rolling, baby. It's good TV.
And it sells sunglasses.
Yeah. How many did they sell,
sunglasses?
1.2 million. Like basically the day they came out, he did 1.2 in like felt like 3 to 4 hours. And I got to tell you, these are blenders. By the way, I've always been a blenders guy. So Dion, welcome to the team. We're excited to have you. I think it was a pretty good get by blenders. First to be on with the Jump Shots pod, and then to be able to pick up Dion on the heels of that is pretty sweet, I think.
Who's to say what was a bigger catch, really, though? You know?
Yeah, I know. That's.
I will say though that
post
game, Shedeur was wearing him as well, and I think Shedeur might have had a concussion. Just saying, off that hit, he was acting a little loosey goosey in that post game presser. But I will say this: you couldn't tell the pupils in his eyes because those blenders were looking great. All right.
We better get a sponsorship. These are shameless plugs.
Yeah. Hit us up, blenders. We have your back just how we have Dion's. All right.
Did you see Shedeur trying to do a little like finger thing in the helmet though? That was kind of like that game was just chippy and weird. It was getting
16 penalties on Colorado State, and it felt like there should have been probably 45 on both teams. So
yeah, those are rookie numbers for sure. Yeah, that was some Captain Insano stuff. You know what I mean? That was definitely just Waterboy-esque, just right to the face. That was cool. Hey, I'm all for it.
That's why they used to have the face mask that had the bar down the middle. And like when they got rid of that, like I was like, oh, that now we're just encouraging, eye gouging. But I guess you blame the fingers, not the person behind them in most situations. But that's a little Second Amendment, little jab in there for you guys. But
let me tell you, if the Colorado State player had been also sponsored by Blenders, that wouldn't have happened. If he would have had the blenders on mid-game, his eyes would have been fine. So
he was asking for it.
He was, dude. That game was though extremely chippy. I will say that hit on Shedeur was brutal.
There's some big hits in that game. Period.
Yeah, I mean Travis Hunter going to the hospital. Like prayers up for him. Honestly, like that guy's a special talent. That was a rough hit, by the safety. That wasn't targeting. That was crazy.
That was dirty. That was like he was going to take that shot. Like he was like, I'm not going all the way over there not to take this shot. If you would have taken 7 more steps, he would have still taken that shot.
Yeah.
Like he was dead set on doing that. And from that point, I was like, oh, this is going to be good.
That was like NFL blitz. Like post.
It was like
whistle.
Ryan Clark back in the day, dude. Ryan Clark didn't care as long as he can cuss somebody, his own teammate or the other guy. I was like, that's what you do. You just
now he's at the top of the game at ESPN. Probably doing the same thing. Probably just intimidating everybody.
There was definitely a lot of hostility, though. I mean, the fact that players were doing the Dion dance in the end zone, real missed opportunity, by the way, by Shiloh Sanders. Has a pick six, does not high step into the end zone. I mean, just missed chances all around. That sucked to see. You got a legacy to carry on, Shiloh. Come on. But
sorry, I think I heard my kids moving, so I'm like trying to be extra careful.
Listen, dude, I know the struggle. All right, I've been in dad mode before. That's why I put these bad boys up right here. These little doors behind me. Madeline ain't getting in here. This is a fortress now. All right, there's no way. Plus it just looks really cool.
If anybody comes blasting through the barn doors, it's gonna look sick on camera at least.
Yeah, if I meet my end because we're recording a podcast and people just coming through the barn doors, dude, that's like a Jason Statham film. Like, and that's how I'd want to go. I don't know about you guys. You need to invest in some barn doors, Ben.
If I had barn doors, my life would be pretty much complete. I have considered that. HGTV, it's like I just watch it for the barn door montages. So,
dude, you hit 30.
Slow-mo barn door, just like kind of opening up into like an annex. That'd be great.
You hit 30 and HGTV just makes a lot of sense.
It hits different. It hits different at 30.
Jen and I were
now.
In Hawaii like 2 years ago, and we just had some time to kill. and we threw on HGTV, and I shit you not, we watched 4 hours of like home improvement shows in Hawaii. Like that's how gripping these shows were. I know. Instant judgment, well-deserved judgment.
Not at all.
But
depends on the show though. What show was it?
I can't remember the name of the show, but it's the one where they just like they help people out that have these really shitty homes that have a lot of issues. And they go in there and
you described everything about every show.
I sure did, Ben. It was basically like Pimp My Ride, but for homes, which is like every HGTV show, which is also why probably our generation is just so like into HGTV because we grew up with Pimp My Ride. I'm telling you right now, if Exhibit,
Room Raiders, there's a lot going on. They were planting the seeds for a long time.
If Exhibit gets an HGTV show, I'm locked in. I'm watching that all day. I think that's a real missed opportunity by HGTV that they need to just capitalize on because our generation would eat that up with a spoon.
Might be onto something there.
Yeah,
we're like completely up, but I don't know. Are we still doing? Are we going to do like college football too?
We probably should. You know, we started on it with Colorado, but
I know.
There was a lot that went on. You know, Ben, I guess you should probably get into your picks, but you know, that's just up to you if you want to.
Well, I want to know what else you guys watched or enjoyed.
My son is definitely awake, which is probably going to ruin all of this.
Bring him on, dude. Bring him on the show.
Yeah, screw it. We're going live.
What are his picks?
Anything but football or NFL. I mean, so today they picked Peter Pan over NFL, but so I went 9 of 19. I thought I actually had a 20th pick. I was convinced I had Penn State against the spread. I was texting my buddy and I was like, hey, like, he's like, what do you like? He's like, how you feel about the game? I'm like, well, better now that we're covering, dude. Like, you know, I'm like getting all into it. I'm like, hey, like maybe the second team offense can go out there, get the over. And I never actually placed the bet. So I was rooting for a Penn State cover without any money on it, which is ultimate smooth brain moment. I mean, overall, this whole week was one of those weeks where it's like, is anybody even good at football? Do we know any of these teams are good? Nobody really stood out. Colorado sucked. Ohio State looked decent for the first time against Western Kentucky. Doesn't mean anything. Georgia looked pretty bad against South Carolina.
Bama looked awful.
Bama, I mean, Jesus, they looked really bad. I think they're ranked like 19th now. But then again, we just put Texas in the top 5 for beating that same team, which is, you know, interesting. Like, and then I did a bunch of stupid things where like I took, you know, 2 bets on the same game. One would hit, one would not. So, you know, I'm still above 50% on the year. At 36 of 66, which is losing money range. If anybody at home is paying attention, Rutgers looks incredible. Iowa did get the over.
We'll talk
that was a big
that.
week for them. That was a big week for them. And then Nebraska really got me twice. Tennessee lost. Duke looked, you know, phenomenal. The Brain Bowl was phenomenal. But overall, it was a pretty disappointing week. Not a ton of exciting things happened besides Tennessee getting curb stomped by Florida. It was a weird weekend overall. But this week is going to be way, way, way better. Like, this is the weekend we've been waiting for. We've had 3 matched game, like 3 ranked opponent games all year. And we have 7 this week if you go off coaches poll rankings with Clemson. So literally twice as many good games this week as last week, but last week was not good for me.
Ben, I just want you to know you're in a safe spot here because you're talking to a guy that went all the way to Vegas, placed a bet with just a wonderful Filipino woman and yelled "Roll Tide" at the top of his lungs in front of his co-host here on a bet that made no sense. So you keep making those same bets and just know you're in good company. Okay.
I like kind of panicked. I started ripping through all the apps. I'm like, wait, I know I have Penn State minus 14.5. Where is it? And it's like, I don't have it. I'm like, I don't understand. I don't have it. And I was like, maybe I just forgot to like write it down. It's like, no, I actually just like, I didn't take it. I just straight up didn't take it.
The agenda keeps going on that you're just not a real Nittany Lion, you know?
No, apparently not. And Washington did dominate Michigan State. So cannot confirm if the issue is Mel Tucker. But
Some
They
are
didn't
saying
get
it's a
enough.
conference issue.
Penn State looks fine. Shut your mouth.
I count Penn State though as like among that group of I was like kind of hoping to see them
Better.
be like really impressive. Yeah, I was just like, wait, I'm just kind of like, who's really good? Like, and I'm just kind of waiting. And I kind of left this weekend in a similar fashion, thinking like, I'm not sure anybody's really good. And I enjoyed a Colorado State game and a freaking Florida Tennessee game where I'm not sure either of those teams are any good. But it was definitely like it's probably the most exciting game I watched outside of the Colorado game this weekend.
A lot of bad football right now, for sure.
Really bad football. And every team basically ran into it. The fact that like Boston College is as bad as they are and almost beat Florida State, it's like, how bad was LSU really? Or is Florida State, that was just a trip up? Is Rutgers as dominant as they appear to be? It's hard to know until we get into the next 9 weeks, but I think next week is really going to be where we start learning a lot of stuff about these teams. It was the poll is just pissing me off every time I look at it, because it's like we have Florida State and Texas in there because they beat bad teams that we didn't think were bad, because we have preseason rankings that say that they're not bad, but they actually look bad for the first 3 weeks. And then it's like Washington, USC, Penn State just kind of sitting out there while Michigan and Oregon don't, or Michigan and Ohio State and like Georgia haven't really done anything super impressive, but they're just like fully baked in. It's like I will beat this drum until the day I die. We just got to stop ranking people before the season starts, because there's no point. And it's like, it's just, you're just stuck. You're just stuck waiting. And like for Clemson, for example, like they got beat by Duke. And like Duke looks pretty decent, but Clemson is now being punished because Duke was not ranked when they beat them. But like now Duke is ranked, and it's like, what are we doing as a society where we have to, put a number next to every logo of a school? I'll never understand it.
Yeah, you sound a little bit. You sound a little bit like a communist. So
a communist, yeah. I'm big, all about socialism and all those great ideas. That's what I'm about.
Everybody should have an equal chance, is what you're.
Everybody should have
what I'm catching from you. Yeah, it's very un-American. How dare you question the sanctity of NCAA?
I'm the Bernie Sanders.
I feel like it would change, and it would. Yeah, then it would like change nothing. I feel like we would do this, and then week 4 would come. Like we'd still be here at week 4, and they'd pick the same 4 teams. Yeah. And we'd be like right back, and I'd be like, wait, why did we do this? Like, why did we even? But I mean, I'm with you actually. I mean, I do think it actually makes sense. If we could like actually do it, that would be cool. I find it highly unlikely, unfortunately. So we're just gonna have to like stare at the AP the way it is.
Also, what I'm catching from Ben, by the way, I don't know if you caught on to this, Henny. The Schiano man might be the belle of the ball of the Big Ten. Rutgers may take it all the way.
They are good. They are really good. I was on them early week 2. I was a little scared of that spread. I was like, well, maybe I'll just take the over, but I think I'm just taking Rutgers every single week now until I'm proven otherwise. Like he's doing the Lord's work down there in Piscataway.
Just sprinkling in that conference depth. He's like, we got a little Rutgers in there. Yeah, we're deep. This league's deep, baby. What do you know about Rutgers undefeated and out of conference schedule, huh?
He gets like a call. It's like the superhero phone or whatever. And it's like, hey, we're going to make all the other teams really shitty. We need you. He's like, say less. Throws on a scarlet cape and just saves the day.
Yeah, that's right.
Stupid.
Like Michigan State's out. We're going to need you to step up big, Schiano.
The only time I ever think about Rutgers, to be truthful, is just when I think of The Sopranos, because I know that was the state school of Sopranos land. So it's the only time I think of it,
They don't.
I think it's like a good school, right?
I don't know. Nobody in Jersey roots for
Does anybody know?
Yeah. Actually, fun story. I don't know if I've ever told this before. I was at a training for work probably 5 years ago, and I can't help myself when I drink Miller Lights. And there was a nice man sitting there wearing a Rutgers football shirt, and I was like, Rutgers fucking sucks. And he's like, I know. What? And I'm like, they suck. And he's like, dude, I never said we were like, and like, I'm just, getting belligerent off Miller Lights, trying to dunk on this guy for being a fan of a program that created the football as we know it, the college football world. And, I'm over there being a drunk asshole because I was like, I saw a team in a conference that my team is in, but that's the only Rutgers fan I've ever met.
Yeah. To be fair, though, like a lot of times that ends up in a fun interaction.
Yeah. No, that one didn't. He got pretty feisty.
Yeah. Clearly, this one was a fail, but a lot of times that can work out. A little back and forth, little banter. Yeah. We're all having fun here, right?
Yeah, something like that.
It's like if somebody came to me and was like, "Arizona sucks," I'm like, yeah, we sure do. Like we're a basketball school, but
we sure are.
You're knee deep in some jersey, so like
I never interacted with a person who wore a college football team shirt that wasn't like a diehard fan. That was like my first time, and like I just didn't really know how to wrap my head around it. I'm like, wait, what do you mean? Like you don't care that I just talk shit? So that taught me a valuable life lesson. Don't just assume people might like the shirt. Don't just attack them because you had a Miller Lite.
It's a valuable life lesson, really. Miller Lite can do that to you. I know that's Henny's drink of choice, but
that's why I'm on Coors now.
Yeah, you got to make a life change.
Those Millers are too strong.
They're too American, dude. They're too potent.
Yeah.
I think Colorado and Colorado State were all on the Miller Lights. They decided not to drink the sweet, refreshing waters of the Colorados, and they switched to the Miller Lights this week. And that's really what the cause of the issue was. That's what happened.
It makes more sense than anything else, like making up stories about moms being disrespected. Like, yeah. I would bet you any money that like that's probably not the worst mom smack talk anybody's ever had. Like Donovan McNabb probably got it all the time from his mom being in those soup commercials, for Chunky back in the day. Like I think he played like another 4 years after that. Like I would have made fun of his mom for being a soup mom for the rest of the time if I was playing against Donovan McNabb.
Those were some good commercials for sure.
Yeah, Soup just got out of the NFL game. There's just really no Soup commercials anymore.
Yeah, we off Soup.
I think Soup's kind of going down. Sell high on Soup because it's about to crash. If you can short big Soup right now.
Yeah, the tea leaves are out there, guys. If you're not picking up what we're putting down here, come on.
Andy Warhol died and it just went to shit. Apparently, So the grand ambassador of
that actually does check out. I think you might be onto something there. We might have accidentally caught the tail here.
We're on to you, big Soup.
Were the last people on Soup? Everybody else got off years ago.
I'm not gonna lie though; those commercials did make me want to pour a nice bowl of Campbell's Chunky while I was watching NFL football. Though I will say that was incredible brand ambassadorship. So
Chunky hit different back then. It really did.
Chunky soups were so good. It
was just stew. I mean, at that point, it was just
it was
stew. So
there's
does that even
wrong
count?
With stew, though.
Maybe we should be buying low on stew and selling high on soup, and now we got this all figured out.
Yeah, I mean, is this kind of like is a hot dog a sandwich argument? Like, is a stew a soup, or is it its own separate entree? Some are saying
it's its own thing. It's its own thing. Yeah, stew has to be different. Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree.
I'd much rather drink or like eat stew than basically drink soup. Because soup, honestly, soup is a drink. If we're being honest,
we're getting a little wild here, but I do.
Yeah, I know. Because I was gonna I'm gonna hit the brakes and turn hard right into chili and be like, well, now we got ourselves a conversation that's about football.
I was about
chili.
To talk about
is
pho.
It a stew?
And somebody said pho was soup, and I'm like, that's not soup. That's different. And they're like, dude, it's soup. And I got pretty upset about it. And they're like, I can't eat soup in Arizona in the summer. And I'm like, well, it's not soup, it's pho. So.
Yeah, when people go get pho, like in 110-degree weather, they probably have a character flaw. I'm just putting that out there. So. Though chili, I agree with John. Chili is its own thing, and that's pretty much good year-round. You can do a 5-alarm chili pretty much any time.
As long as it's
I don't know
five
if I'm-
alarm. As long
I
as
don't
it's
know if
five
I'm off
alarm.
base. Yeah, hey, you gotta notch it up. You know
I'm not
what I mean?
gonna be. Yeah, I'm not eating 4 alarm chili midsummer. I'm not a sociopath.
Yeah, Mama didn't raise no bitch. We're kind of like Dion on this podcast, so we go out there and kick ass. So let's get back on track. Jesus Christ!
I think this is the
You throw the
I think this is
shades
the
on.
wildest podcast we've ever had. We have covered literally nothing so far.
We throw the shades on and just
We
lose
put on
track.
sunglasses and it's like I'm just disconnected with reality. I'm like, yeah, we're just a bunch of guys talking soup, really. I mean, I don't know what the fuck this is, but having a grand old time.
What were you guys most surprised by this weekend? Like game wise, I'm not gonna lie to you. Texas was pretty appalling. Like I know the Cowboys they're a decent team, but I didn't expect Texas to struggle with them like they did.
I think it's got to be Bama personally. Like,
Yeah,
their offense is so bad that they even went to the white QB again, thinking that would bring back the glory days, and it just wasn't. It didn't spike any sort of change in offensive production whatsoever. If anything, they went backwards. So kind of proof of concept in reverse. Once you go black, you can never go back type thing. So I don't know if you can say that, but at the end of the day, it's
Too late.
yeah.
too late now. Well, Dugan can edit it or whatever.
That's staying in the show, baby.
I think overall, like, they were so bad that they could barely beat a USF team. Like, again, how bad is Texas then? Like, none of this makes any sense. You're left with more questions than answers this week. And, it was a tough week to be gambling on. It was a tough week to learn anything from either, because you just come away with more questions than you had in the first place.
I will give Nick Saban credit for being the most progressive coach in the NCAA, though, because he rolled out everybody he could. Tyler Buckner, he covered the whole like Asian community. You got the white guy, you got the black guy. He's trying everything.
We were on track for like all of 60 seconds, but I was like, I did like. I think the least surprising thing was watching South Alabama just beat down Oklahoma State. Yeah. Like after how bad they looked the week before, like honestly, I was like, this actually makes sense. Why didn't I bet my entire house on this? Like this is just but man, I mean, I don't know. There's some. I like the fact that Gundy's still around. I keep wanting to say Van Gundy really bad. I can't do Gundy without putting a Van in front of it because I watch so much NBA. Yeah, but Gundy, like, just the fact that he still continues to like have a chill ass job, it just looks like he's hanging out there. Like he looks like he's basically drinking a Miller Lite as he's coaching the game, and they just suck. Like they're terrible.
Yeah,
and he's playing his son now. Like it's gone full. Like he's completely lost it.
He needs the mullet back for sure.
Yeah,
It's like a whole Samson situation with him. Is the moment he took the mullet out, like it just went downhill. Should have never cut it.
This is very clear to me. Like this college football weekend is so like we're just all cherry picking like the most random things. I was like, there was nothing that was exciting. Thank God for Dion. That's why we're wearing the sunglasses, Ben. That's all I can really tell you is like Dion's basically saved college football week 3.
He did.
I think he saved college football this season so far. I mean,
shut up.
Has he not though, Ben? There hasn't been a lot of great storylines.
There will be. Give it time.
Yeah,
we'll get another catfish Notre Dame linebacker just lighting the world on fire or something. I don't know. Do you want to get into next week? Because I honestly, I'm so tired of how bad last week was that I just
yes.
I want to.
I feel like you've been saying that for the first 3 weeks, though. Let's hope it gets better.
Because it is that's what it is. The first 3 weeks of college football you're just glad you have it, but it's not.
Yeah,
it's not actually amazing. We got some really good matchups. I think you got Colorado, Oregon. This in theory would be the game that makes you guys take your sunglasses off. The line is, I think, appropriately set at 20.5. The over-under is at 72.5. And I have a general rule of thumb. Once you get above 10 touchdowns, I'm probably taking the under. So I have it. I was just trying to put together like some of the stuff like I liked actually. And I do really like taking under 70 somethings in college football.
It's a good thing for sure.
that's probably the move on that game. At least that's what I'll be doing. I don't think I'll touch the spreads because I could see it going either way, but under 72.5 seems pretty rock solid. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that game yourselves, but for me, that's the direction I'm going to go with it.
I think we're all in conclusion on this podcast that anytime it reaches 70, you guys completely turned to me last year because I was just in the habit of betting the over on that because I'm like, let's have some good football. It just never works out, ever, you know?
You only have like 90-point games when it's like a 45-point over, and it's the only time you actually see that many points, I swear to God.
Yeah. Though that game could be some fireworks for sure because neither team really plays defense.
If you want to scare yourselves, we have a OK State, Iowa State over 36.5. Not a ranked matchup, but that sicko pick of the week is under.
Tease me, Ben. Tease me.
Under 36.5 on that one. That is two offensively challenged teams.
God.
Who did Iowa State lose to this week?
Iowa.
No, this week.
Oh, Iowa State. Actually, I forgot about that. Iowa State. Did you guys hear about this? Legit. So they lost 10-7. I can't remember who they lost to. It was a bad school. They shouldn't have lost to them. I think it might have been like Miami of Ohio.
I'm looking it up now.
They had a field goal that was legitimately good that because the guys waved their hands no for no logical reason, they didn't get the points for, so the game ended 10-7. Even though they legit, like you could literally
because
see.
He did this?
Yeah, because they went like this.
So once he does it, that's it?
That's it. They couldn't review it. But yeah, literally.
They lost to Ohio, dude. Parker Titsworth.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Them Bobcats.
They literally couldn't get the points back on the board and then lost 10-7, which is insane. It's insane to think about that in today's day and age. You would not be able to challenge whether the guy standing underneath the goalpost, which in the first place is not that scientific, or if that's Bible or not. Like that's insane to me.
That's weird. And a good share. That makes no sense to me. And also hilarious. Iowa State, like you guys are funny.
Tough week for the Big 12, by the way. I don't know if you guys pay attention this much.
Yeah.
Kansas State lost to Mizzou. Ben and I were
on a 60-plus yarder. That was sick.
Yeah. Ben and I were talking about that at work, and I was like, there's no way Kansas State loses. I can't believe that line. Yeah, Vegas knows everything. Iowa State lost. Your Miami of Ohio pick was against Cincinnati. The Bearcats lost.
Yeah.
And then we already mentioned Oklahoma State. So tough looks all around, really.
Brutal. We can walk in, Dugan. We can just jump into Arizona fandom. We can just walk into the Big 12 and just be fun.
We look good. They that catch by T-Mac to Tara McMillan is probably one of the greatest catches. And if you guys haven't seen it, it's on our TikTok, our Instagram. I put it all over there. Probably one of the sickest catches I've ever seen at Arizona. And probably just period college football. Like, homie grabbed it one hand in between three people. That guy's going to be a problem if he stays at Arizona, which jury's out on that one,
Well, we get one more. We'll get one more out of him. Right.
Yeah.
So
we'll give you the free transfer your senior year. That's fair game, but give us at least a Big 12 season, homie.
I mean, if he's good enough, though, you just leave after 3 and just jump to the NFL. I mean, there's no reason to play that senior year for him if he's balling.
He is that good, though. My God.
He looks that good, and he's like physically. The thing is, he's like physically already big. So, like a year from now, he's going to be fine. He'll be NFL ready. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind.
I contend Arizona should be 3-0 right now because Mississippi State got
we should be 3-0.
Shit pumped by LSU, and I know we're not that far off. I mean, LSU is definitely better than Arizona, but we're not that far off from the shit pumping that Mississippi State got.
Mississippi State's a poorly coached football team. I still think they have dudes, but I'm pretty sure they have a bad plan every week.
Poorly quarterback too. Really just got some. He's got a bad
that was the same quarterback that was fine with Leach. Like they were winning games with him, like just slinging it around. And now they're just trying to like swing too hard the other direction. They have all this recruiting that was done to run this spread, and they're just like, we're going to play power football, and it just doesn't happen like that.
We're talking about Mississippi State.
Yeah,
I was talking about LSU, the poorly
Oh,
quarterbacked. Yeah, but you're right. Like they are a poorly coached team at down there in Stark Vegas for sure. They're a mess on offense. There is no reason they should have beat Arizona because they could not score points. It's just that our team was giving them the ball in prime position like every 5 seconds. So going forward, I feel pretty confident about the Cats. To be honest with you, that offense is dirty. Like they can run the ball. They have like 4 or 5 weapons. The defense looks good. This is probably the best Cats team we've had since like 08 on
yeah,
paper.
yeah, I think so. But the other thing that's scary is now they go on this stretch where we play. Got to play the
Stanford.
Pac-12 schedule, man. That daunting Pac-12 schedule.
We play Stanford, dude. The juggernaut of the Ivy League,
Yeah,
really.
yeah.
Who
Well, they're
also
going to
lost
be
to-
they're soon to be an ACC power for sure.
Well, they lost to Sacramento State, so they got some work to do too. So just a lot of weird upsets this weekend for sure. That's why Ben is just so angry. He actually had to leave camera right now. That's the real reason. Definitely not doing dad stuff. Ben was so mad right now. He had to go sip a Miller Lite.
Had to go choose violence. I do not know how long I have before they come back out and try to get me.
I just want all the clips though of you like looking up paranoid, like because it looks like you're
Well,
like it looks like something terrible is happening in your world, and it's really just your kids out. You know what I mean? Like, but you look so scared.
It's almost
Well,
like a zombie apocalypse, dude. You're waiting for
I
the
could
door to
hear
bust down.
them, and I was like, dude, well, like maybe like they'll just go back to sleep, and they didn't. So yeah, they didn't go back to sleep, and then they came out. They kicked like the door open, basically like a Kool-Aid man, and just
Yeah.
yelling for daddy.
Move.
And then daddy was like, go to sleep, because I have to go talk about gambling.
Yeah.
So
Gotta
we'll
go
see
make
how long
money,
this
dude.
lasts. I'm sure it's very comforting. So I don't know where you guys left off.
We're
Jump
talking
in,
about
you just
the
jump in
Pats.
whatever you want, man.
Yeah, talk
All right.
about
What's
next
talking?
week.
Yeah, what's speaking to you?
Rutgers at Michigan.
Ooh, okay.
Thinking-
The Shiano man,
think-
huh?
I'm thinking the over. It's
Ben's a big
44 and a
Rutgers
half.
guy.
Give me a reason to not, and like I'll get off the hype train. I kind of want to take the 24 and a half. But it looks like the line's moving in Michigan's favor. So I may wait and then end up hopefully getting like Rutgers like plus 27. And then I just, smack it. It would be
Yep.
great.
Based on what you've told me, this sounds like blatant disrespect for the Shiano.
Oh, it
man.
is. Yeah, he's phenomenal. There's
24 and a half line. That's
and it's already at a minus 102 for Rutgers. So it's like it's getting to positive territory, which will flip it up a point. And it's like people are just going nuts on it. There's Ole Miss, Alabama. It is in Tuscaloosa. So I kind of want to take Alabama minus 6.5, but I really shouldn't. But I feel like that's trap line, smooth brain take. Should I take that? Should I not? Am I supposed to be on Ole Miss? And it's
Kiffin always comes correct for Bama, though.
he does save the good stuff.
He has like that one game a year, and it's always against Saban. And he's going to talk shit all week. So
he already did. Do you see his GOAT tweet?
no.
Yeah, he tweeted something like probably like 3 hours ago, and it was like, "What do you think about Alabama's game against whoever they could barely beat, USF?" And he just tweeted out like the GOAT emoji, and it's like sarcastic compliments, man. He's
There's our
already
boy at
in
Ole
Saban's
Miss
head.
there.
Dude,
Coach
he's
Sark.
That being said, Saban has only lost to 3 of his former assistants. One of them was against Sarkisian 2 weeks ago?
Yep.
Last week. I lost track of time. So I will probably ride Alabama on that.
Who starts, though, you think? Milrow?
Can't be the white boys. That's for sure.
A white boy. Already covered it, dude. They're covering everything.
They're touching all the bases. They need to get they need to get something else figured out there. But there's honestly a ton of great matchups. I'm looking for the lines on some of these. Bear with me. I know the matchups, but I want to see the lines before I start talking.
Are we just like, I know, and I'll just buy you time too, but like, are we just to the point though where this like all these assistant coaches start coming back and just start kind of getting their little nip here of Saban. Maybe Sark was the first bite. Maybe there's chum in the water.
Dude, that coaching tree is big enough that it's bound to happen again.
Eventually, one of them wasn't dog shit type thing.
Yeah.
He actually has like a decent pupil once. I don't know. You're beating up an old man at this point. Like,
well, Kirby got him first, right?
Yeah, and Kirby. I don't know why we're I'm like that's when I'm like that stat is what does that stat mean? Because didn't Kirby been whooping his ass? They've not played.
I think those are two of his three. I think
okay, gotcha. He's got the other one. Okay.
Yeah, I think Sarkisian was the other one. It might maybe the stat was old. I don't know. You can't trust Twitter these days, even with community notes on them. But I see a graphic and I'm just like, oh hell yeah, this is legit. Definitely not just like put together on PowerPoint and some dude took a picture of it.
Yeah, for sure.
There is the Ohio State Notre Dame game, which is a very, very big who's actually real game. Ohio State looked decent for the first time this week. Finally maybe got their offense rolling. The line is at 3. You got Notre Dame as home dogs at a plus 130, and the over/under is 54.5. I think you got to take Ohio State against the spread until you're shown otherwise. I don't like the over/under. I could see this being a really big points game. I could see this being a 17-10 game.
Yeah, you go either way.
But I like Ohio State at -3. The line is moving in that direction, so it might get to 3.5, and then I probably don't like it as much. But I'll take a push at 3. And kind of like Alabama, I think you have to bet with those programs until you have a reason not to. And not covering the 30-point spread is its own thing. But 3 points against Notre Dame, I have to say that they're going to probably be able to knock that one out.
Yeah. Pac-12 slate is insane, by the way. I was looking
Utah, UCLA,
it's murderers row this week.
It's all good. I got my big. You guys have probably been waiting for this one. It's Penn State, Iowa. This is the revenge of the Boo Birds from last year, and I'll remind anybody who doesn't recall. Last year, Penn State lost, I think, about 6 players to injury to the game. I think 3 of them were out for the season. And in between classy waves to cancer children, the Iowa fans, would boo and boo and boo every injury because they were obviously all fake. PJ Mustipher's, season-ending injury was definitely just so that Iowa's offensive juggernaut would slow down, and take the gas off.
Yeah.
It is time to embarrass the shit out of Iowa. It's a whiteout game. It's going to be great TV, and I think this should be the game that everybody's watching at, ideally, where people see Drew Alara against a good team show out. Like last week was not great for him. Like I'm not going to lie, like it was pretty rough. But that was only his 3rd start, and it was his first on the road. The line's at 14. Over under is 40.5. Geez, what a difficult. I think I'm taking Iowa over 2 weeks in a row, though.
You're a dirty dog. I bet you just are ashamed of yourself right now, aren't you?
It kind of follows that line of like, hey, you take the lowest over, and you go over it, and then the biggest over under you go under, but. I'm actually doing the opposite because I'm going to take the under in the Iowa State game. But this game, I think you take the over. I think Penn State's able to cover 14, but I don't feel super confident on it after last week. Maybe they were just saving everything for Iowa, but a whiteout revenge of all the every injury. Just wait for the stadium to boo the shit out of them. Iowa is Penn State's rival. Like they are the team I hate the most. And I can't wait for this game. This game is like.
So if you win, do you rush the field?
No, Penn State's classic. We're this isn't our first time being there.
Listen up, Colorado. You can learn something today.
Where does our boy Ferentz sit right now? Because they put up 41 last week. So what's
they were right now? 5 points behind pace. I think they were 1 point behind after week 1.
Yeah, they got to be ahead of pace now. Not by a lot, but they got a comfy little margin there.
such a low point total. It's insane. Just average 25 points doesn't matter. I mean, but
Is
that
it-
is
is-
that is good.
I was just gonna ask like about Aller because like I was watching him and I wasn't.
No, it was not good.
It wasn't it, man. Like I don't. What it might have just been that day. I mean, like certainly it's.
So
Like you mentioned, it's his third. Whatever number of starts he's had now, but
Illinois' defensive line, I told you guys, I think in the Big Ten preview, is that one specific unit they have that is good. And I think he was in his head. He was a little rattled. He was missing dudes that were open, which his whole thing has been accuracy. I think he'll settle down a little bit. I mean, Illinois' defensive line is better than Iowa's. Iowa's secondary is better than Illinois'. But if he's able to get protection, I think it should be fine. Penn State's defense really kind of saved the day against Illinois because they had 5 interceptions of Lucas Altmaier. So I think a lot of that was just like that's his first time having big ass dudes really like going at him.
Bunch of guys that eat stew.
A bunch of guys that eat stew and drink Miller Lights all day before the game. I think they'll be able to do a lot more going into. I'm glad it happened now and not against Ohio State. If that happened against Ohio State, I'm crushed for like a month emotionally. But I can handle that against Illinois. And that was weird game overall. But I think he does better this week. I think Penn State's defense continues to look better and better. And Iowa's defense is good, but that 40.5 is really low. Considering that even if it's 21-17, you're in it till the very end. So
yeah,
I don't know. It might be a 41-point game total, but while it's at 40.5, there's at least the field goal can save you at the very end type thing. I don't know.
How do you feel about Oregon State and Washington State?
I don't even know anymore.
I have no idea what that game. Want nothing to do with
touch
that.
It.
Couple blue bloods.
I'll probably touch it before we get there, but as of right now, I was like, I don't even want to think about it. I don't want to touch it.
Are you ready to admit that the Pac-12 is better than the Big Ten?
Well, no, Rutgers going to finish the season ranked here, so we'll see how it all shakes out. Every conference has their Northwestern. It is what it is.
Arizona State.
Stanford lost to Sacramento State, and we don't hear you talking about that. So before you know,
actually, we were talking about it when you went to go have your Miller Lite. So
yeah,
okay.
And I got to mention it. I mean, Arizona State did get shut out at home by Fresno State. I mean, I'm just telling you, just for transparency, not because I want to rub Arizona State's nose in it or anything.
Yeah,
well, I looked to see how NIL boy did. He didn't play.
He was out.
Yeah, he's out. I guess he's going to be out for like 6 weeks. Now they're talking about redshirting him, I think.
They actually were under their fifth string quarterback, which that was never like to see that happen, especially to the Bourget family. I know Henny.
Well, they have ASU this week. So I will realistically be firing on USC to cover 33.5.
Smart guy.
Make it 100.
Really run it up, dude. Do one of those special spreads.
Exactly. You need to go alternate spread. Yeah, they can cover 40 for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, God, that over at 62.5. I think they could probably do it all themselves.
I know they can, but they did it like that. But we saw that with the other week, right? They just shut it down at half, 49 or whatever they had at half, and then they're like, we can punt a couple times.
That's banking on how bad USC's defense is. That's the only way you feel comfortable with it almost. But
yep.
What about Florida State, Clemson?
Smooth brain started going immediately. I was like, wait a second. This is the game where all of a sudden college football is thrust into chaos.
Yeah.
I might take Clemson just money line.
Wow. This would be it, right? Florida State had a close call too.
They did.
That's how this sport works, man. There's just dumb shit that happens. But you're talking about plus 104 home dogs.
Do we
those job on the line potentially?
Yeah. fire them all. Do we know if that quarterback's healthy at Florida State? He got nicked up a little bit, but I don't ever see if he came back or what the story was.
I don't know.
I think he's okay.
I think he's all right, but if he's nicked up, I mean, that's, that makes it all the more prime.
Yeah.
I mean, if he's even got a little limp.
They played really bad week 1, and they've won by like 50 points the other 2 weeks. The bad offense from the Duke game is gone, and that seems like that's classic college football. Number 3 in the country goes down on the road to an actually talented team that doesn't have a number next to it, so everybody thinks it's like crazy.
If they had the coaching, dude, you know what I mean? If they had a good coach.
God, dude, I'm like, I gotta stop doing this while I'm on here with you guys. I just keep looking at lines and be like, "Ooh, I like that one. Ooh, I like that one."
Like a kid in a candy store. Right
they're
now.
really good. Just drop them in, no matter what conversation we're having. Just sprinkle them in.
UNC at Pitt -6.5. I don't know how you don't take UNC -6.5 and put your mortgage on it, boys.
We talked to my wife on that one.
I'm with you though. They looked rough against West Virginia. West Virginia was dominating out there, playing a physical game with Pitt.
Big 12 football.
Yeah, that was one of the gems we have to look for. Like, you don't realize until like you say those things out loud. You're like, oh, that's like us now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta wear that one.
Cool.
I mean, Texas State's looked incredible. I don't know if you saw what they did to Jackson State. The leftovers of Deion's Louis purses. They won by like 65 against Jackson State. So like, I don't know. I don't know anything about Nevada, but I might take Texas State -17.5. Degenerate pick of the week. I got to turn my brain off. I can't stop doing this.
Nevada is like this beautiful college in this beautiful setting, but then also bumps up against like Reno casinos.
Yeah.
Like it's actually a beautiful area, but then you just walk down the street and then it just gets real, real fun, but a little bit sketch.
Yeah.
Sad casinos. It's a lot of sad casinos in Reno, to be honest.
You should probably take Maryland -6.5 on the road against Michigan State. They're still reeling from Mel Tucker doing his thing. That's a good line. Maybe West Virginia +4.5 home dogs against Texas Tech. I like that.
Were you excited to see D'Antoni back out there? Did you get like a little warm and fuzzy? Just kind of miss the old guy being out there?
He always beat Ohio State, so he can come back anytime he wants, bro. I mean,
it's just weird to see him. I was like, did we just travel back in time? What happened?
Yeah.
That was like a given. It was like Michigan State's going to pull some bullshit on a ranked team every year, and you're like, oh, God.
Yep.
You're as a Penn State fan of like the years when they were 8-4 every year. You're like, maybe if this happens and this happens and this happens, Penn State gets to go to this bowl in Orlando in December 28th. Like it's gonna be great. It's like we could get the Monarchy Car Care Bowl if this happens, and it's like Michigan State just does the thing. It's like they were great, dude. Those were the times I liked Michigan State.
Yep.
I don't know. There's a lot of great games. There's a million great games, and I'm going to bet all of them. Georgia State is undefeated. I would probably take Georgia State +6.5 against Coastal Carolina.
Clay Helton's team, Georgia State.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Checks out.
They're the ones that killed Frost. They're the ones that officially. Oh, no,
are they the ones that made him cry?
Shit. No. Georgia Southern was the one that did that. Georgia State is. Damn it! I got all excited. Georgia Southern is Clay Helton's, but
what we need to get back on is like your depraved pick of the week. We need like a really weird team is Rutgers is that kind of is like Rutgers like filling that void in your heart right now?
Though they're Power 5.
I know. I don't think it counts. I don't think it should count either. But
yeah, what's the MACtion look like, dude? You always have some just oddball pick that we have to roll with.
I mean, he's going against our Chanticleers, though. I mean, we've been pretty firm Coastal Carolina guys. I mean,
we look like Coastal Carolina guys, bro.
That's the stuff I was going for, to be honest. Yeah. I was like, I hope someone says today, like, did you go to Coastal Carolina?
I wish we had more teal in our life, but
I know that fridge is, teal-ish.
It's pretty depraved to be betting on Georgia State against Coastal Carolina.
It is. That's why I want to know. Like, but I want a storyline that we can follow. I want the if Georgia State beats Coastal Carolina, that means like I know we had those threads together last year.
Tailing Coastal the whole year. It was like that was SMU though, dude. And then it's like Tanner Mordecai. Was it Tanner Mordecai or was it, just the Mustangs themselves?
Goddamn Tanner Mordecai.
Dude, a piece of shit. Whatever.
He's becoming a storyline on this thing. I'm like, every time I hear his name now, I get mad. I don't even know why.
He's like the class pet nowadays. We've accepted him. We've adopted him as our own. Pretty cool last name.
It's a great QB name.
It's a good name. It's a good name. That's the thing. It just really sticks in my head.
Should be way better than what he is, for sure.
Dude, I don't know. I'm looking at all these teams, and it's like I think the most depraved pick is Georgia State, but
that's depraved. That counts. I mean, don't beat yourself up. That definitely counts.
Listen, Georgia State was mentioned.
People what they want.
Georgia State was mentioned in a Drake song, so I'm down to roll with them.
Yeah, shout out Gene's Po' Boy shop in New Orleans.
It's Drake video. Georgia State. That's what I'm doing.
Georgia State, hammer it home, folks. You heard it here first. We love our Chanticleers, but
that's it. I'm done. I'm done looking at the slate. I can't fire on it anymore because I don't forget. Like last week when I thought I took Penn State minus 14.5, and I never fired on it.
We'll throw your picks out there on the Twitter X sphere.
Yeah.
Probably like Thursday, unless there's some sick action that we're hitting on a Wednesday. We'll throw it out there. Yeah. So be on the lookout for that, guys. Though we do reserve the right to change it at any point in time, because Ben does that sometimes, So
we cash out refi into another pick.
It's just smart economics.
I was like, it's your money. I mean, until the fans really start sending us money, which by the way we're open to. Then we have to reside. Then you can change your picks. You reserve the right.
Yeah, if you guys want us to make bets on your behalf and you would like to send us money, our DMs are open on any of the platforms.
Yeah, let's just put our Venmo right here next time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I'll add a link, but we don't have a company Venmo yet, so it's just gonna be like Ben's Venmo, which I will tell you it's open. It is open. Okay.
You can send it. The original. Yeah. There's no number after my name.
No, Ben's got it locked down. So, college football looks super sick next week. I'm really sad that I'll probably be missing it because I'll be across the pond, as they say.
You won't care. You're not going to care. You're not going to give a shit.
You guys don't know me well enough that I'm a sicko. I guarantee I will be up like at 1:00 in the morning watching one of these games. Like, I thought you guys knew me.
Sure. Better. No, I mean, you will do that, but you're like not going to be like, oh man, I wish I was at home. No, you're going to be like, oh, this is cool. I got to watch it at some weird time, like drinking again. It actually enhances the experience. What time when they want to play a game at like 4 a.m. in Hawaii, I'm going to watch it like a sicko, but like, I'm actually excited. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. Now I can drink at 4 a.m. in Hawaii for no reason.
Boys, we're Gucci. So the Colorado-Oregon game's at 12:30, okay? They are 8 hours behind London, and that's on Saturday. So I will actually be on a yacht at that time in Manchester. Is there a better place to watch that game?
Okay, don't Venmo this guy. He's like on a fucking yacht. Jeez, send it to Ben and me. Like this guy's yachting now.
Podcast life paid so
wow.
I gotta stop being a guest and start being a regular.
Listen, bro. I'll tell you where the funds go when our videos go viral. All right.
Woo. Yacht life, dude.
All those thirst traps, dude, that we've been doing on the side. It's just they've been paying your bills, your yacht trips. It's insane.
All those ladies that are watching right now, I know are enjoying the sunglasses. So Ben, you might want to grab a pair. Maybe you can get on a yacht at that point.
Blender's check already cashed. Nice. Hell yeah, dude. Can't wait to see the Splitsville on that, Dugan.
Yeah. Our boy at Tasty's might have actually delivered the check to the wrong address. So, speaking of Tasty's,
shout out Tasty's, by the way.
Yeah, it's right there, or right there.
I'm not sure how I'm doing it either.
Mirror effect, but our boy at Tasty's, he's just been putting on a world tour himself. He was just in Puerto Rico promoting the product. So, you boys, if you're out there with your homies golfing, looking like Ben with your sunglasses on.
I don't always recommend, by the way, that you watch this on video, but I strongly recommend that that's the only experience you should be having with this particular episode, because everything else is not going to. I don't even know if we make sense in podcast land anymore, but we definitely make sense on video.
Yeah, listen, if you're not watching this on video, Ben has Post-its on his face as sunglasses.
No, these are my sunglasses. These are my Deion
Yeah.
Sanders special sunglasses.
You look like a bug.
it? Oh, God.
I have a tank top on. Me and Henny both have sunglasses. It's just, Ben's kids.
Is it stolen valor
cameo.
to wear like a this color green shirt? Is that stolen valor?
I'm not going to lie to you, Ben. I'm wearing sunglasses. You look completely black and white to me right now. So
Damn it. I want somebody to thank me for my service while I'm wearing this shirt.
Well,
that's all I want.
We thank you for your service for all the picks that you do every week, for sure. Putting your name out on the line.
Yeah, I do. By the way, that is like a brave. People kind of underrate that. It is like bold to like stick your neck out with all your picks. And I mean, I know it's like, whatever, you're going to do it either way, but a lot of people don't want to do that.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't want to share the receipts, to be honest with you. They don't.
Yeah, we
I
put
haven't
your receipts
lied
out there
once.
every week.
I haven't lied once. I'm all up in here. I could have easily slapped Penn State minus 14.5.
Yeah,
on
that's
it.
what I'm saying, right? Yeah.
You
We
eat
could be out here
lost,
preaching you at
but, man,
80%. We could doctor the hell out of this thing.
Yeah, dude.
I got
We
got
appreciate you is
55.
what we're trying to say.
Thank
thank
you,
you for your
thank you.
service. You wear that shirt anytime you want. So, all right, boys, let's hit on the NFL really quick, just before Ben's kids come running down the steps and just mob him like just an angry crowd. So, Ben, I know you were actually able to watch a little bit of the action on Red Zone, so that's good. I'm glad you're here, pal. But really what I want to hit on first, and I'm glad you're here for this, Ben, because it actually affects you. All I want to say is fuck the Los Angeles Chargers, first and foremost. I decided to throw my my pool pick on the Chargers because I thought there's no way now they lose to the Titans. And then I remembered who coaches the Chargers, and he is in every sense of the word just a complete asshole, and he's out to fuck everybody that roots for the Chargers, even momentarily. So, Henny, thoughts?
I was just going to let you be mean to the Chargers this week so I could take a break from my mental health. I hate them. I don't know why I love them, because I do hate them. Today just falls under that thing where I just was like, yeah, this is just what it is to be a Chargers fan. Yeah. Like, this is just so much fun, dude. I love this. God, I love this.
If it helps,
go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I woke up and I had a little spare change sitting in one of my 12 apps, and I was like, oh, dude, let me just pick a home dog to ride, and I was like, I'll take the Titans. It'll be great.
Yeah.
And didn't even look once, and I was like, oh, this is cashing. This is gonna work. And I think I no issue whatsoever. I was like, oh, free money in my bank account because plus sign home dog in the NFL. It never stood a chance.
The reason why I'm mad at the Chargers, let me tell you right now, is because they gave me an extreme level of anxiety today, not because they lost, but because I had to face the facts that Benny Diamond Hands over here convinced my wife to let me in this goddamn survivor pool. And I had to deliver the bad news that our $50 was moot and void. It was gone. It was in the atmosphere because I decided to trust. Oh, it's gone in my mind. I'll never see it again.
It's being recycled you spend locally, that money gets recycled in the community. You're just stimulating the economy. You're fine. Yeah.
I value myself to be somewhat of a knowledgeable chap when it comes to NFL, but the Chargers just go against all traditional, conventional wisdom because they are just a shit show. I looked.
What happened? You got cute. You can't get cute in a survivor pool.
I didn't get cute though, dude. The Titans fucking blow.
You took the Chargers.
You took the Chargers. That's pretty freaking cute, buddy. And I just told you last week, this is bad.
Yeah.
You don't even listen to our own podcast.
I think he went off for like 25 minutes about how bad the team is. And then you somehow were like, well, they can beat this bad Titans
You're like,
team.
it's definitely Kenneth Murray starting at Mike. Take my money.
He got a sack today, If you're just stat watching like I was, you know what I mean? I was watching my own game, by the way.
That's the classic Charger mistake, by the way. This is why we're forever pinned as like some darling. Because
Yeah.
you see, like, you watch Keenan Allen dance, you're like, that looks fun, dude. I want to like
I
root for
wanna-
those guys
I
and
wanna-
those Look at that. Look how
Mikey
much
had a
fun they're
good
having.
game. Yeah, Mikey had a good game. QJ
just don't look
still
at the
just not
scoreboard,
getting
it's
the ball. By the way, yeah, like Chargers potentially taking the worst receiver in the draft. Checks out so far.
So I literally have no words for the Chargers. I have no energy for them today. I have nothing to give them today. I just will continue to vow my allegiance to Justin Herbert, and we will move forward and press on. Can't wait for the 2024 season.
Ben, you'll appreciate this. My other buddy Tyler, who's also a Chargers fan, was like, dude, I think I'm done with the Chargers until they like move back to San Diego or something. And I was like, cool, dude, root for the Ravens. And he straight up told me, no, they have a murder statue in front of their stadium. So
Hell yeah, they do, bro.
can't win, you know what I mean? You either root for a shitty football team or a potential murderer. You know, I chose the
Or
latter.
the guy who like beats the shit out of people in elevators, you know.
Yeah. Former Rutgers great, you know, Shiano guy.
Yep, Shiano guy.
The Shiano guy through and through, man. He'll
Yeah.
punch you right in the mouth. Coming for you,
Yeah.
Michigan, 24.5 points.
Tell me about your Ravens. Cheer us up.
Fuck yeah, dude. Let's
Do
do
the
it.
Ravens rule?
Dude, I don't know if we rule or the Bengals just blow ass because Joe Burrow does not look good, has no mobility at all right now. His calf is just deflated, you know. Ravens look good, man. Lamar Jackson finally got some weapons. He's able to throw it. He's not a running back like Ben's about to say. He's out there slinging the rock, like looking really good. OBJ did already get hurt, so there's that. They say it's not long term, so that's good.
Sure.
Ravens just live and die by the injury list. We were missing our left tackle, our starting center, our starting safety. Still went out there and kicked the Bengals' ass in Cincinnati, so that was just a real fun watch. Missing our starting running back as well. Doesn't matter. We got the Gus bus, the only bus in the AFC North that matters. You know, just throwing that out to Ben real quick. Zay Flowers. Yeah, I'm glad you caught on there, bud. Zay Flowers, 50-yard reception, best receiver in the draft class. Definitely better than QJ. You know, defense looks solid. I'm a happy Ravens fan. We look terrific. Todd Monken, incredible offensive coordinator. You know, John Harbaugh out there flexing the biceps after the win. That was cool. You know, I hope to be 60 just flexing my biceps, being a thirst trap. So I couldn't be happier with the Ravens. Because as soon as we get all our players back too, like, you know, Ronnie Stanley comes back, Linderbaum comes back.
Don't do that to yourself. You know they're not coming back.
It'll never happen.
Yeah, they don't come back, dude, and you know they don't come back.
If they come back, I agree with you because let me tell you, the only team that's more snake bitten than my team is the Chargers when it comes to the injury bug, and that's not a slight to John. It's just the fucking truth. But if they come back, this team is like far and away maybe the best team in the league right now.
Wow. Okay. Whoa.
How can you argue with that, bro? The Chiefs have won on dog shit
What do you mean?
the last 2 weeks. Yeah, they pulled a win
Commanders are
over the
2-0,
Jags
dude. Come on.
today. Who are?
Yeah.
The Commanders are 2-0, and you're just going to sit there and act like you're better than the Washington Commanders.
Listen, bro, I called you a commie earlier today. I didn't think you'd actually root for the commies. All right, like, don't you bring that slander up on here, dude. Like, look, the Chiefs look like dog shit. The Chargers are dog shit. Like, the Bills got beat by a shit Jets team week 1. Yeah, they rebounded against Jimmy G. Cool, congrats. Who else looks good?
got beautiful
in the
eyes.
NFL?
Jimmy G looks beautiful.
Well, I think the Niners look good. I think the Eagles are still fine. I mean, I think there's still like other
Eagles look
there's conversation to be had. Also, the Chiefs getting getting Kelsey back and getting Chris Jones back and looking normal, and that they seem normal today.
They looked like shit today, dude. Like, they couldn't even put away a Jags team that has a degenerate gambler as their best player.
You don't like Sunshine?
I'm not going to hate. Yeah,
That's not what I'm talking about.
I know.
But no, I do love Sunshine, though. He is going to be a really great quarterback. You know what? I have to take it back because the team that looks probably the best, low key, is probably the Dolphins. They look awesome until Tua's head explodes. which we all know is probably going to happen. He's probably
Any
going to
minute.
just combust at any moment. But until then, they look very, very good.
They do
And
look good.
also, to stay in the state of Florida, let's talk about Baker Mayfield. Little career
I was
renaissance.
gonna bring it up. I didn't
Looks-
want to, but
Looks great. Mike Evans, almost 200 receiving yards today.
He's so pissed they didn't sign him. He's so pissed, and he's just
yeah,
he's gonna have the best year of all time, and then he's gonna go somewhere and just kind of suck. It's the first year he doesn't have 1,000 yards receiving. It's gonna be the year after this because he's gonna have like 2,000 this year.
Yeah.
but I love that he's gonna have like just a good enough year to also get Baker a deal,
yeah.
and the Buccaneers will hate themselves for 3 more years.
They do it every time, dude.
Like
100%.
it's, you know what I mean? It's like Mike Evans is gonna be like, we're gonna both get paid, and Baker's gonna be like, hell yeah, and the Bucks are gonna be like, we're stupid, we'll do it. Yeah,
Cowboys look good, but we play this game every year. Cowboys
They
always
do
look
look
good
good.
the first few weeks, and then they just fall apart. But God, their defense is sharp as shit.
Parsons is unbelievable right now.
Yes.
He's doing
It's a
absolutely
shame.
everything.
It's a shame that Penn State didn't play him at outside linebacker. You know,
The joke was so good last year, and it just continues to get better and better and better. I fucking love it, dude.
It's
Just
a
commitment
fine
to the
line.
bit though. The commitment to the bit.
nothing like COVID robbing me of his junior year. You know, to just have an open wound still.
let's go with COVID. That's what it was. You know, definitely wasn't that he just wanted to get to NFL. So
I saw him for 2 years in college. It's bullshit.
yeah, Broncos lost again to the commies. So I guess
There we go. Thank you. Now you're cheering me up. Now we're talking. Yeah,
you
there we
know.
go.
That was wild
If you-
because Broncos were winning like the whole game, and then I looked at the scoreboard after the fact. I'm like, holy shit, they lost. But they really have been like the whole like reverse Cinderella. They look so good the first half, and then they turn into a pumpkin at the ball at the end of the match, like at the end of the game, and just
In the
Russell
witching
Wilson.
hour.
Yeah, it is, dude. Russell
Yeah.
Wilson just turns into dog shit by like the fourth quarter. You can
He should eat more Subway sandwiches.
probably should. Maybe they would
Probably run
actually
out of
name it
them.
after him
Out
this
of
time.
energy.
Yeah, dude. God. Goddamn Sean Payton putting a leash on him. That was so much fun last year. You know,
That was the most points it is. Is that the most points they've ever scored? Like in Broncos
Under-
history? I mean, Russ history.
yeah, I was gonna say under Wilson. I think so. Didn't matter though. You know what I mean? Did not matter one tiny bit. Outside of that, Lions lost. So who's to say the Chiefs are good? Lost to the Seahawks. So ex facto, the Seahawks are better than the Chiefs.
I'd put them number 1 in the league, dude.
Yeah, power rankings, updated power rankings from the podcast. Yeah,
Just saying, Gino did the job.
Seahawks, Ravens. You know,
Yeah,
how I'm
that's what I
saying
think
it.
it is. Yeah,
Gino might be the
100%.
best quarterback in the league right now. He looks incredible. You know, Gino's a beast. The only quarterback playing better than Gino today was Danny Dimes.
He let it come back. It happened.
You know,
Yeah, they hurt Saquon though, dude. They're screwed.
yeah. You know, Saquon got too many miles put on the tires at Penn State. That's what happened. You know?
Did you guys
He
catch the
actually
rev?
didn't.
In fact, he did not.
He split carries with Miles Sanders, you piece of shit. I don't know.
You guys had so much awesome talent on Penn State and just never won anything.
Yeah.
We won the Rose Bowl. We won the Fiesta Bowl, dude. We lost the Rose Bowl, actually. Fuck. Then we won the Fiesta Bowl.
Those are big. Those are big games. Yeah.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah,
you got
we-
there. It's more than Arizona did.
Gesicki, Godwin. I mean, Kabinda, the fullback for the Lions. Nobody remembers him, but he's in the NFL still. Trace McSorley, I think, is on a practice squad somewhere. Like those guys are
Parsons is
stars,
like
though.
your biggest star ever, though.
Yeah.
Defensively, I think he's the only one who's actually like come into the league and done a lot of stuff recently.
Yeah.
It's
Don't
all been
discourage
offense.
Shaka Tony that way, you asshole.
Hey, he did make a lot of headlines for gambling, so you know.
He's your guy. He's probably playing your picks, you know?
It would make sense to me. No, it's always been offensive players. So it's like LeVar Arrington, you know, obviously it was like the stud, and then Courtney Brown, and neither of them really did much in the NFL. So like this is like the biggest like defensive like stud we've had in the league for a long time.
Yeah. But
I
you guys
forgot
do
we were
pump
all
out
mad at
the-
Courtney Brown. Yeah.
You do pump out the offensive players like Allen Robinson,
hmm
Godwin, like God.
Yeah,
Well,
that's what I mean. All those guys are like relevant.
Pretty damn good.
Saquon,
Yeah.
They're like
Sanders,
they're like relevant, but like Saquon's a bigger one, yeah. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
Miles Sanders was pretty damn good when he came out of the draft. So
Well, the Eagles only ever gave him the ball 7 times a game. Like that was more.
Yeah.
That's just what the Eagles did. They're like, hey, we got 6 good running backs. Let's give Boston Scott the majority of the carries this game just because it's what we do.
Yeah, that backfield never made sense to me.
Let's draft Kenneth Gainwell and then still give carries to Boston Scott. It's like, why are we doing this? Like, so it's like he would average like 8 yards a carry with his 6 carries a game, and it's like, why don't you just give him the ball 20 times? But whatever.
I know I'm with you on this. Did you also?
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, did you just catch the ref though? Just like with his like, hey, buddy, I'm talking to America.
Didn't catch
You guys see that clip?
No.
You guys know what? I'm the only one that saw this clip.
Yeah.
I've had my kids.
I'll have to share it. We just got him on a live mic. It's basically Gino like berating the official about a call, and he's like, "Hey man, like I'm talking to America right now."
Good
And
for him.
I just know it's going to be like the meme. Like it's weird that you see a meme in real time,
Good
or
for
like
him.
or a
He
GIF
is.
or whatever the hell it ends up being. But
He was talking to us, so
no, I really
Come on.
appreciated that he knows who his audience is. I was like, yeah, you're goddamn right, you are.
Can we
Not
talk
that-
about how I got absolutely flamed on TikTok for my Kirk Cousins like shitty meme that I did? Because the moment he lost, like I got both sides of the coin about that game.
Oh yeah,
Where like people were either like Kirk Cousins had this much stats, but then other people were like, yeah, the defense had 4 takeaways and you couldn't get it done. Like what the hell is it with Kirk Cousins like in prime time?
He's inflammatory, dude. I mean, the guy grills on tinfoil.
Does he really? Did
Yeah.
not know that. Yeah, that's
Yes.
an instant like, whoa, buddy, watch out for this guy.
sicko pervert. Yeah,
He
Yeah.
finds some bones in his backyard in 25 years and everybody goes, it checks out.
Yeah, 100%.
Seriously. Yeah. He's a little bit John Wayne Gacy-esque for sure, Little Ted Bundy action.
Now, if he was selling soups to me, I'd probably listen. But I'm just not right now. He's kind of stepping out of his lane with all his ads. I'm not about it.
He definitely is a soup guy, not a stew guy. For sure.
He might be a gazpacho guy, dude. He's not.
Yeah.
He's not
like
drinking
cold soups.
anything
Ugh,
too flavored.
Yeah.
Sicko.
Yeah. Cold soup. What a weird thing that is, God,
You
we've
get like
just-
a nice winter melon gazpacho at some fancy places.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah,
people get bored, I think. Sometimes just make shit up and it just takes off for some reason. That's gross.
I think me and Henny are just gonna go eat soups for like the next week and a half while you're gone. But
I'm legit gonna send you guys a picture of soup from London. And just
they don't have it. They only have stew.
God damn it, you're right.
Yeah. Good luck, bud.
I'm gonna order a soup and they're gonna give me a beef Wellington,
Yeah, you're gonna order it and just think it's gonna be real. You wait 4 hours for it, and then you're like, I gotta get on my plane. I guess I won't see it. And they're like, oh no, it's almost coming.
Was that your English accent?
No, that's it's not an English accent. I would butcher it way worse than that. That was like somebody other than me telling you soup is almost here.
Okay.
Change my voice to infuse character into another individual to enhance the story. Not
I'm just making
specifically.
sure, dude, because like I know you got better than that in you, so
I'm not doing
No,
it.
but-
I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I was like bait him into. Yeah, I was like, I'll do really bad English accents.
Yeah. It sucked to see Anthony Richardson get hurt today. That blows.
I
Yeah.
think he's got the RG3 career arc ready
You
to
think
go,
so?
dude. Like, oh my God, yeah. We're going to have 10 games of Magic, and then he's just going to be, his wife's going to be filming him throwing footballs in the backyard in 4 years, being like, he's still got it. That guy is
they're
not going to be
tutties,
long
man.
for this league because he is going to get himself killed.
Did you
That
guys like
sucks.
the RG3 clip of him like putting himself onto the Jets organization?
Yeah.
He's like, I know there's like guys out there. He's like, I'm getting calls like all the time. It's not a big deal, but like very, yeah, it was a nice little slide in there. But the faces from the rest of his crew is really what made it, I think, because they really weren't buying that. They weren't buying that.
No. RG3 should never go back to NFL, not because he's not good enough, but I honestly think he is a pretty good commentator. Am I wrong in that? I think he's pretty good.
He's
Definitely better than the player he was. At least if you take out the 1 year.
What's his vibe though? Like, what do you think he even is? Is he like cool dad? What is his lane exactly?
So if we remember correctly, right, RG3 would always like his big shtick was like the socks he would wear for a long time.
Yeah, that's what I think of first.
That's the vibe he gives off of like commentating is like sometimes he wears really cool socks and then he wears Superman socks. And you're like, okay, that wasn't as good of a take. You know what I mean? But sometimes he's got some really cool Argyle socks and you're like, damn, that's cool. That's the vibe. I can roll with that.
He's just, he's a poser.
I want that explanation on a fucking poster of RG3. He's like the sock guy, and like one time he's sort of like Argyle, another time it's Superman, but that's like him, but hot takes and not hot soups.
Yeah, dude, for sure. He's definitely the guy that puts like sriracha in his pho. Like it works out sometimes, but then sometimes you put too much. Sometimes you put too much sriracha and it just ruins the dish. That's RG3's takes. Like he takes things too far, like mentioning that he should be like an NFL still. No, you probably shouldn't. You should probably back off that a little bit. Is that a better take for you, Henry?
Yeah, I think that, yes. Although I do like the sock one.
Yeah, no. Yeah. There's a lot of ways.
I think Ben Roethlisberger should play for the Jets. I think that would work out pretty well.
I know. No Phillip Rivers.
You know what's crazy? You have not heard a single thing about Ben Roethlisberger since he retired, except for him hating Kenny Pickett, which all of Steeler Nation already does.
You guys want me to dive into this real quick?
I got time.
This is a joke. This is the problem with all these homers. I'm a homer. I want the Steelers to be good, but I've been traumatized over the years by Mike Tomlin saying stupid shit into a microphone at a press conference, and he makes me think that he's maybe a good coach. He's horrible. He doesn't like the fact that like we're sitting here deluding ourselves into thinking Kenny Pickett was anything other than Derek Carr's like younger brother, maybe with tiny hands and a stupid mullet. Like the guy's not good. He had one good year in college, and by the way, he was in college for like 7 years. He did a fake slide, and everybody was like, "Whoa, God!" They did the same thing with James Conner. They're like, "Oh, we get to draft a Pitt Panther to play for the Steelers." Like they get all excited, and it's like none of them have really panned out to be anything. Like it makes no sense. And then guess what? The team is so bad that our 39-year-old defensive end / defensive tackle Cam Hayward is injured, and I know that we're going to suck for the next 8 weeks until he's healthy again. Like why are we so dependent on a man who's been in the league for 12 years and Cam Hayward that he's out? The Browns are going to kill him tomorrow. Every team's going to kill him tomorrow, or next week and week after and week after and week after until he's back. And it's like in the meantime, I got to watch stupid Matt Canada's offensive play calling combined with Kenny Pickett's no talent having ass try to get it to a bunch of receivers who can't get open with the fucking line that hasn't been able to block for 4 fucking years. The team sucks. They're going nowhere. They're the worst team in the NFL.
At least you get to watch it tomorrow. That's cool.
Can't wait. Yeah, I don't have my kids.
Tomorrow.
I get to watch that stupid fucking team.
Maybe you want to throw in Paw Patrol instead.
I probably will. I'll just be watching Peter Pan tomorrow, and you guys will be like, what do you think of the game? But didn't watch it. Small hands, Kenny.
Pete played great.
Peter Pan's a good one, I think. I mean, it's a good one.
They drafted 2 first-rounders, aren't starting either of them. Why? Because the Steelers way. We don't start rookies. And it's like, then why even fucking have draft picks?
Yeah. You draft like the Chargers. That's cool.
Yeah, it's like, why? All right, so we got Joey Porter Jr. Our team sucks. Let's not start him. Again, though, classic Pittsburgh things. Like, we got to draft Joey Porter's son. We have to. Got to keep the tradition. It's like, no, who cares? Like, he is a good player. I like Joey Porter Jr. I like him a lot.
I was going to say, you really like Joey Porter Jr., though.
I do. But the thing is, it pisses me off that for 4 years, when we drafted Najee Harris, I'm in a group chat, and I'm like, why are we celebrating this pick? This changes the fact our line can't block. And then they're like, second round, Pat Freiermuth, a player I love. But Pat Freiermuth is not an incredible blocker. We had to draft another tight end so that we could have a tight end who could block as well as a second-round tight end should have been able to block. They haven't fixed the offensive line. They don't do anything besides just draft players who don't do anything. Like, I'm sick of it. Like, all we have is TJ Watt. We have a really nice shiny toy, and then we have Najee, and we have George Pickens, who's a piece of shit 3 years into his, or like a year and a half into his career. Deontay Johnson literally can't score touchdowns.
Well, he's hurt anyway.
Of course, right? And then, it's like, oh, don't worry. We got our 4th-round pick, Calvin Austin, back this year. The offense is going to be different. The offense is going to be – Kenny's really connected with his receivers at Latrobe in preseason camp. Up in St. Vincent's, the Steelers are throwing it all over the yard, and they're not.
Ben, can you please do this in a Yinzer accent, though? I know you got it.
I'm sick right now. I'm like trying not to, but like I'm trying to think of like.
Let it out, dude. Come on.
But if I was drinking Miller Lights and I was doing this, it would be really natural. It comes out of me at that point. Yep. But no, the team's going to be really bad. And you guys have all got to bitch about your teams, except for Dugan, who thinks his team is great. They won't do anything.
They're the greatest team in the world.
We have the best quarterback in the league.
Shut up. Anyway, no, it's irritating to me that as negative as I am as a Steelers fan, I couldn't even avoid the positivity. It was disgusting. And then by the end of tomorrow night, it's like it's going to be crickets, and everybody's going to know. Yin's gone down to Heinz Field, and it's just that bum Matt Canada. He's not worth shit, and it's just whatever.
Thank you for
that. We need draft picks in that. All right, we need draft picks.
I needed that.
Yeah, that was all the energy I had for the Chargers that I just didn't have to give.
Yeah.
Because they've broken me.
Now, John, do a Cali accent. I'm just kidding. We're not gonna
I know. Like, now you got to take the 8 and then you got to take the 10. And I know I just want to do I just do the Californians. Whoa.
You know what's funny, dude, is the dude that put these doors up, because yes, I'm enough of a man to hang my own barn doors. He was from San Diego, and we had a great talk about why the Chargers are no longer in San Diego, and it's because nobody goes to those games when they were at Qualcomm.
California shouldn't have professional sports at all. They don't care.
Unless they're the Lakers. Then they kind of care.
Henny cares because he doesn't live in Cali.
Yeah.
They do care about the Lakers. You're right.
Yeah. But because they don't live – the people who are there don't care at all.
Henny cares because I think he might be a little bit into self-inflicting pain, just being a Chargers fan.
Every team I root for. It's literally just traumatic. I mean, it's
real character
building, or a trauma bond or whatever the cute little word is for it. All of my teams are pain.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Arizona Sports and the Chargers.
Unbelievable. I have no joy.
No. Let's go, Dion. All right, guys. Well, like we mentioned, if you guys didn't catch on, we won't have a show next week because I'll be out. But we will be back the week after that, covering maybe some of the big games that we might have missed out on talking about, or the slate coming up. I'm sure the Ravens will still be undefeated going into the next episode. The Chargers probably would have fired their coach by now, and Ben will probably have just completely shunned the Steelers at that point. But hopefully Penn State's in the top 3. So we'll give him that. Drew Allar setting the world on fire. I will be updating the TikTok and the Instagram with just memes and shit while I'm out. Henny will be commentating all live sports. Yes, you heard that right. Every single live sport is on our X profile or Twitter, if you're still calling it that. And then you can follow us on YouTube to watch us just wear sunglasses and do dumb shit. So great episode, boys. I had a lot of fun. I'm going to miss you just dearly, probably more than my own family while I'm out. Do you guys have any closing thoughts?
Soup yourself, man. Soup yourself.
I was waiting for it. I was like, someone's going to say something about soup, and I'll just leave room for it. And I was like, I'm not going to fight over the soup line. It's unbecoming.
Yeah, go eat some stew for sure. I legit might eat stew tomorrow. I got a hankering now. So
send a pic, bro.
There's nothing worse than having a hankering for anything. So, all right, everybody, have a great weekend. Have fun. Have a great week. We will see you soon. Go buy Tasties or you suck. So, bye.